Shocking new report has trade reports escalating that the Rams have a big trade for the 2026 NFL Draft that changes the offense forever. Huge news about this, and welcome back to another episode of Rams Digest. I am your host, Joshua Finehirsh, and before we begin today, I just want to thank you all so much for 3,000 subscribers. Josh and I really appreciate it as we put in a lot of hard work to these videos and expanding the channel, and we have more big things coming soon, so make sure you stay tuned and hit that subscribe button and the bell down below. Now begins the journey to 4,000 subscribers and many more. And now to today's huge news. Trade reports escalating for a certain player in the 2026 NFL Draft, as we will get that underway for you right now. And starting off, I think it's very important to recap the trade from the first round Thursday night. Adam Schefter here on Twitter reporting the trade. The Falcons get the Rams 2025 first round pick this year, which turned into edge rusher James Pierce, great pick for them, and a 2025 third round pick. The Rams received a second round pick, 46, which turned into Terrence Ferguson, a 2026 first round pick, and a 2025 seventh round pick. Now looking at this trade, you think, okay, pretty fair trade for both sides, right? Yes and no. Yes, it's fair value for both sides in terms of what they got, but the Rams got something super valuable in this deal. If you look closely, look at the second pick listed on this tweet for the Rams, or this X-post, or however we say it nowadays. The Rams get a 2026 first round pick, which is huge. The Rams haven't had multiple first round draft picks in the same draft for, I couldn't tell you how long. You know, it's been a long time since the Rams started the F them picks mentality that led to them winning some Super Bowls. Now, to the player that these trade rumors are all about, and it is the Rams made a trade for the Atlanta Falcons, 26th overall. Los Angeles owns 2 first-round picks in the 2026 NFL Draft. Considering Matthew Stafford may retire within the next 24 months, the Rams may be seeking the grandson and nephew of NFL legends. And this is all according to Sports Illustrated here today for the first part of this story. Back in late March, Rams general manager Les Snead was photographed speaking with the uber-talented quarterback Arch Manning out of the University of Texas. Snead was in attendance for the University of Texas Pro Day, as well as to watch the quarterback for this year's draft, Quinn Ewers. Manning, who is taking over the starting job from aforementioned Quinn Ewers, is projected to come out of school next season in anticipation of being a first-round pick, a potential 1.1 pick with how talented he is. And for the Rams, this changes everything. As we know, Matthew Stafford, getting up there in age, has had some injury concerns over the last couple of seasons, and it will be very important for the Rams to find a successor. And that successor did not come in this NFL Draft, as the quarterback class not as strong as the scouts say for this year. And for the Rams, this is really interesting, and I want you to like this video right now if you believe that Arch Manning is that answer for Matthew Stafford. Manning coming to the Rams makes a lot of sense from both sides. Manning has the look, the pedigree, the experience, and the familial rapport to excel. The Rams have the right environment, stability, media attention, and supporting cast to help Manning become the player many believe he can be at the pro level. From a tool standpoint, there is a lot to love. The man has the Manning touch on the football. It's not as consistent as his uncles or grandfathers yet, but it's clearly there, and with more reps, that consistency will come. Yeah, the media market, as Sports Illustrated says, perfect for, Arch Manning, a star. LA, New York, the big markets, they love their stars, especially out here in LA, and Arch plays right into that role. And he's got a strong arm, but he is coachable. He's able to operate in a variety of formations and sets. His throws of a fade route, it's a beauty, it's a beautiful throw, and he's very mobile to the point where he's able to gain yards downfield, but more importantly, he's fast enough to extend plays. That is key in the modern NFL, and something that Sean McVay has not yet had as the Rams head coach with Jared Goff and now Matthew Stafford. Stafford, when he first got to the Rams, a little bit better than Goff, but now with Stafford's injuries, he's not really trying to extend those plays as much anymore. And with Arch, he's got a big frame. He's 6'4", 225, so he's able to, elude to those tackles in the pocket, able to extend plays, scramble out to the right or the left, make throws from both sides. As it says, his fade route throws are absolutely beautiful. And Arch would be a perfect fit in this Rams offense with Puka, with Devontae, assuming he stays past this year. And whether Stafford retires after the 2025 season or the 2026 season, it is good to have a successor on the roster, as Stafford's contract is guaranteed for the 2025 and 2026 seasons. So we will see what he will say after this season. And Arch, again, a great successor, even if he has to sit behind Matthew Stafford for, a year, maybe even 2 years. We'll see how long Stafford decides to keep playing. And however, the Rams community embraces its stars, and Manning has star written all over him. He's a perfect fit for McVay's offense, especially the spread. And McVay could utilize, the pistol formation a lot more within than Stafford due to Manning's mobility. And that's what we kind of just went over, about how Sean McVay is really able to expand that playbook now with Manning as a potential successor to Matthew Stafford, and how he really fits in to the offense. And he can make every throw in the book. And he's also has that frame. Jared Goff, a bit of a taller frame than Stafford, but both do not have the mobility that Arch does. Arch really takes after, Archie Manning himself, who he's named after throughout the family. Both similar. Obviously, the younger Arch has a much bigger frame to him. And I want you right now, comment down below what you believe a trade package for Arch Manning looks like. Is it both first-round picks that the Rams have next year? Is it only one? What other picks or players would need to be involved for a team next year to move out of that pick? Or if you don't think they're going to trade for Arch, comment down below what you think that first-round pick could be used for in a different trade, or if you believe that the Rams should just keep both first-round picks. He wouldn't be able to start right away with Stafford or Garoppolo, likely being QB1 in 2026. That's a frightening thought that Garoppolo is likely to be QB1, which would give Manning time to develop. If Manning takes over in 2027, that would help the Rams financially as well, as they could re-sign some of their other stars while having him on a rookie deal. And we've seen this a lot with quarterbacks on rookie deals. Russell Wilson winning the Super Bowl with the Seahawks, Jaden Daniels just now going to the NFC Championship game, and them adding Deebo Samuel and Laramie Tunsil, able to spend that money around him. CJ Stroud, both the years so far of his career, making the divisional round of the playoffs. And this would be big, because Puka's up for an extension, Jared Verse, Kyren Williams, a lot of players that really matter to the success of the Rams now and for the future if it's with Archer, who whatever quarterback is really, really important. And with 2 first-round picks, they would have more than enough to grab Manning should they desire. Now, it is very important to look at what Manning would be replacing based off of last season with Matthew Stafford's stats. He played 16 games last year, which was big. This was Stafford's healthiest season in a while. He had 20 touchdowns, no rushing touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 64.7 QBR, and 20 total touchdowns. Again, you see the age of Stafford on this graphic, 37 years old, getting up there in age. However, we have seen Brady play until he's 45, so you never know exactly what's going to happen there with Stafford and how long he's going to play. Leave a comment down below how much longer you think Matthew Stafford's going to play. Because as a Rams fan personally, I want him to keep playing. He gives us a chance to win a Super Bowl for the next couple of seasons, and then obviously Arch or whoever else takes over is the future there. But to wrap up this story, Sean McVay and Snead had their post-draft presser a little while ago in LA from the fire hangar. By the way, awesome they did the draft from the fire hangar. Like the video to support first responders. And this is what they had to say. This is coming to us from an MSN article. Despite not making a pick in the first round, McVay spoke to the media along with general manager Snead, and at the end of the 9-minute presser, a reporter asked about the Rams having 2 first-round picks in 2026 after going without one from 2017 to 2023. Obviously, Jared Verse breaking that in 2024. Before the question could even be completed, McVay cut the reporter off slyly to say, "For now," joking about another potential trade. As this quote has really reunited those rumors that came out from right after the trade happening during round 1 of the draft. and now we are post-draft for all 30 NFL teams. And seeing that, it is important to note, what do we believe is the likelihood of a Arch Manning trade coming next year, or another trade in general, as this isn't only for Arch. However, I personally believe this is mainly for Arch rather than for any other player. Again, comment down below what you believe that first round pick will be used for, and if it should be used on Arch. Me personally, I do believe that this should be used on Arch, just because teams need young quarterbacks. It's very rare to go from established quarterback to established quarterback. We saw the Falcons go from Matt Ryan to Desmond Ridder, trying Kirk Cousins, and now it looks like they have their successor, with Michael Penix. The Seahawks, the Russell Wilson to Geno Smith kind of worked, but Geno Smith had them capped out. And we've seen the Niners try to do it with, from Kaepernick to Garoppolo. That didn't necessarily go too well. They did make a Super Bowl, but Jimmy G, had his time out and there. And now they have Brock Purdy, a younger quarterback. So it is much more difficult. And the Chiefs, obviously, the most important example, went from established veteran in Alex Smith to young star in Patrick Mahomes. So it is very interesting to see how team building has really changed throughout the NFL as of late. And the Rams should look to take a note on that, because the Rams went from Goff to Stafford. They went from Goff, who was becoming established at the end of his tenure, to a borderline Hall of Famer, now lock Hall of Famer, in my opinion, in Matthew Stafford. So the Rams should look to get younger at quarterback. Remember, comment down below, should the Rams trade for Arch Manning? I think yes. And that is all for this episode of Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Finehirsh. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow we got a huge new video coming for you, so don't miss it. Remember, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you don't miss any daily new videos covering the Rams. All things, all Rams. I can't wait to keep covering it. Have a great rest of your day and weekend, and I'll see you again soon.